We've got an exciting weekend planned for you.
It is an absolute delight to be here.
I think this has been an amazing organization.
It's an organization of kindred spirits.
I salute you all for the important work of citizenship you're doing here.
We teach individual rights, the proper role of government, and how to engage and activate your fellow citizens around the ideas of freedom.
The idea of a golden age in America depends on how we define it. And our founders talked about it in terms of human flourishing. And when each of us as individuals pursue our own happiness, that is the recipe for human flourishing.
From a British conservative who loves his country very much, to American patriots who still believe in theirs. Honor those founding principles. Never forget that it is your privilege to have inherited these sublime ideals, and that privilege carries with it a commensurate responsibility to keep them intact and pass them on securely to those who come after.
As the daughter of Iranian immigrants who fled their homeland for the values promised to them here, I'll be the first one to tell you that we cannot afford to be passive. Failure abroad invites instability here at home. September 11th should have been the harbinger of that message. A safer, more stable world uplifts everyone, including us.
The last line of our national anthem is land of the free, home of the brave, and it's high time we start acting like it. The promise of America is available to everyone, regardless of race, regardless of social station. When we debunk this idea of white privilege and systemic racism, it's a bunch of crock. My parents and my wife's parents lived through the Jim Crow South. They would have loved to have grown up in the America I grew up in. The problems that we have with disparities, it is so tragic. It really is. It is a fatherless home crisis, not a systemic racism crisis.
Politics in nearly all societies throughout all history have been powered not by persuasive words, but by something else: force. Intimidation, physical violence, imprisonment, the crack of the whip, those have been the building blocks of the vast majority of all political systems. America's founding fathers, however, wanted something different for their society. They wanted it organized on the only other available method to coordinate large masses of people: persuasion. We have to voice that free will honestly and to persuade each other to pursue common cause.
The reason I'm hopeful is because I do believe free speech is a natural right. I believe free speech defines who we are, that we can't be human without it. If the framers were right, you can't extinguish free speech without extinguishing us. It's in our DNA. It finds a way out. And that's where hope comes from. It's not the rage that defines us. It's free speech that defines us.
The problem that we have in the US is not that we've had too much market fundamentalism, it's like we haven't had enough. Again, if you looked at the size of our government, everything in our life is impacted by regulation. Regulation, regulation, regulation. We have made the choice of stagnation in this country. We have not made the choice of market fundamentalism. True free market idea.
So much of this antipathy that I think threatens American prosperity and threatens our civilization is rooted not in deeply held beliefs, but in ignorance. On issue after issue, young people think they hate capitalism, but what they actually are upset about are the products of our turn away from capitalism. But we can reach them with this message if we can stand up, make our voices counted.
I'm often asked, can healthcare really work in a free market? And my quick answer is the free market is the only thing that works in healthcare. Price competition, quality competition. We need to free the patients. And then we need to free the doctors. And then we need to free the entrepreneurs. There's a market where we pay with our own money and we don't have the third-party payers dominating the system.
When I think about a golden age, this is not Greek mythology. This is America right now, and we're starting it. And it's an era of prosperity, peace, and high achievement. And if we want to get a lot of stuff done, we're going to need a lot of energy. Net zero is anti-human. Zero energy poverty is the most pro-human thing I can think of. If we want good energy policy, we fully embrace that freedom over force mentality. Nothing is more foundational than energy. Let's get after it.
You would have to admit that it is impossible to think that an individual with the right mindset, with the right principles, and with the right grit and determination cannot dramatically change the situation of their town, their city, their state, their country, which I think very much factors into leadership program of the Rockies.
The Army for Freedom wants and needs thinker-doers.
An institution shaping leaders who do not just learn, but act. Now it's our turn.
Freedom isn't free, and it takes our investment in organizations like this.
Step up, take action, make your mark. It's about building this army of freedom.
The prerequisite for all of this is freedom. The freedom to think and act, to achieve your values and pursue your own happiness.
But what are you doing? What are you doing to help your community, to help your state, and to make America the greatest that it has ever been?
I'm delighted to stand in front of the Declaration of Independence because next year is our 250th birthday. And I am trying to convince people who are interested in that it has to be both retrospective and prospective. It's important to both get people grounded in who we have been and to get them excited about who we can become. And certainly the leadership program of the Rockies can play a significant role in getting Coloradans to think about the importance of the 250th anniversary, getting schools, again, as Bob is doing, to have serious efforts on this.
We're not going to come back next year in the 250th year of the anniversary of our Declaration of Independence and just celebrate 250 years of independence. No, our mission of this organization is to add life, to add depth to that declaration.
It's not about politics, not necessarily even about policy, but what we're trying to do is figure out how to arm you so that you have impact on your spheres of influence.
We issued a challenge to everyone in this room, and many of you signed the Declaration of Independence. And that declaration is the founding of our freedoms. By accepting that challenge, what you have said is that you are going to go out from here and you're going to spread amongst your area of influence the ideals and the principles of the Declaration of Independence.
You are part of the survival of freedom in America. And so by being involved here, what you are doing is exactly what Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln hoped for. You are recreating government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that is a moral and a noble cause.